A lot of AmeriCorps recruiters are using Canva Pro, which is awesome for a couple of reasons. One, Canva is super easy to use. It has lots of amazing functions and you can use it to create all your different marketing graphics. The other cool thing is that within Canva Pro, you can get Canva Pro for free as a nonprofit. So we'll have a separate video about that, but that's why I find that a lot of our AmeriCorps programs across the country are using Canva Pro. Now, the other thing I see a lot of is that people are adding QR codes to their marketing materials, particularly for flyers, postcards, things that you might be bringing to tabling events. I think QR codes can be a great way to connect the paper world to the digital world if you're bringing something to an outreach event. But there is one thing that I would recommend as you add a QR code to your marketing. So I'm going to do a little demo here to show you what's possible. So if you're building out a flyer or something in Canva and you want to add a QR code, you're going to go on this left side to scroll down to apps, and then you can search for QR code. This is going to bring up a lot of different ways to add a QR code to your flyer marketing material. Now, many people I think are just using the simple QR code generator that is built into Canva. The challenge with that is that that's not a dynamic QR code. So dynamic QR codes are QR codes that can be edited after the fact and can have data linked to them about how many people scan that QR code on what day and in what location, which can really help you if you're trying to assess how well your marketing is working. I have chosen to use a service called QR Code Tiger. So I'm going to demonstrate how I would add a dynamic QR code through QR Code Tiger here. But as you can see, there's other options through other services that are third-party QR code generators that can also be used to create a dynamic QR code. So I have to connect my account with QR code to Canva. This is going to be a little bit complicated the first time because you do have to connect the services. Okay, so I created a QR code ahead of time in QR Code Tiger, and then I linked Canva with QR Code Tiger in order to be able to pull one of these dynamic QR codes into this design. So I can now just select whichever one I want, and that's going to add it to my design. And then I can show you in QR Code Tiger how I can find out what's happening to this flyer once I print it. So it's as easy as that in terms of adding a QR code that you've created in another service into Canva. You can link these two things, but you do currently have to then go back to your third-party service like QR Code Tiger to see what's happening in real time with that QR code, and I'll show you that next. Okay, now I'm back in QR Tiger, and my QR codes are listed here on the left under URL. And I can see the different QR codes that I've created. And then the nice thing, like I said, about this is if you need to edit this QR code, you can change where that QR code directs the person scanning it. So I know that AmeriCorps programs often only print their marketing materials a couple of times a year, maybe. And this is the real advantage of using a dynamic QR code instead of just the built-in one that you don't have any data on, is that you can keep an evergreen, just one basic flyer, basic postcard, and then you can edit it and have it change where it goes. If you decide instead of your website, you want it to go to an interest form, you can change that in here, but keep the same materials and not have to reprint. The other nice thing about that is that you can see the scans. So you can see on this one, we have the most data, so I'll show you that. You can see how many times it's been scanned and when it was scanned. So if you know that you brought this particular postcard to an event, then you can see how many people scanned it during that event. And you can also see locations and the type of device. So you can see where people were when they were scanning it. So that's just helpful to get a sense of how much traction your marketing materials are getting. Is that particular material being scanned? Of course, you don't know if they're using that flyer to then Google you. There could be other ways that they are still responding to that marketing material, but at least it gives you some data on how many people are visiting through that QR code. And that's the reason why I recommend using a dynamic QR code on your printed marketing materials, and it's easy to do with Canva and a third-party QR code generator.